We're good. Okay.
All right, everyone, we're live. It is the MMA Outsiders. Brand new episode. It is Thursday, again, beginning of December, last episode of the week. I'm Zam Bando. He's Jack Gold. Jack, how are you this morning? It's a little bit of an earlier time than when we usually do these, but glad we were both able to be flexible this week. How are you?
I'm feeling good. I'm excited for this week. I'm excited for this weekend. There's a lot of big news coming in this week. I'm excited. It's been a good week. How about you? How are you feeling?
I'm good, man. No complaints. It's a little bit colder here than I want it to be. I have to go to Chicago for a doctor's appointment later on this afternoon, which I'm not really looking forward to because of that weather aspect. But overall, things are okay. Excited to talk about some fights with you for about the next 30 minutes. Excited to take a look at our predictions, update the tracker, and then figure out what we think. I guess is going to be some of the major takeaways from I guess the seasonal press conference that's going to be tomorrow. I don't know a ton about it in regards to who's going to be there, but I guess we could play a little speculative game as to who we think might be there and what some of these fights may end up being. By the way, programming note for those of you who want to watch that, that's tomorrow. It'll be streamed everywhere across YouTube and the UFC socials. Pretty sure it's 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, and then tonight is the traditional UFC 323 pre-fight press conference. So a little bit of a different vibe this week in Vegas. There's two press conferences as opposed to one, so it should be interesting. But yeah, what are your early thoughts before we dive into this card and start making some picks and then figuring out where we're gonna go?
I'm excited, man. I want more press conferences. I think the UFC was more fun when they were more theatrical. I'm not saying go boxing level, but let's have a full card press conference. Let's have the double decker press conference. Let's have the seasonal press conference. I like it. I think thinking of who's going to be there, I think Patty will probably be there. I think Gaethje will probably be there. I think Volk will be there. I know Diego Lopez will be there. Um, I think it'll probably be 8 people, and it'll be probably Kayla Nunes, Patty Gaethje, Volk and Lopez, and I don't know who the next two would be.
Wait, are you sure? Because if it's a seasonal press conference, wouldn't they have more than just eight if they're going to announce the Q1 schedule?
Maybe I'm thinking they're doing a smaller one where they do maybe the Q1 main events. You know what I mean? And we don't know March yet, so maybe they'll bring up Max and Charles.
Okay.
But I think it'll be maybe like the first two on January because they're both champions. Volk and Lopez, they're champions, and maybe they surprise us with the March main event.
Interesting. Yeah, I could see it going multiple different ways tomorrow night as well, but I think it's going to be one of those where people I think are excited about it. I don't think it's getting to be honest with you, I don't think it's getting as much promotion as it probably should. I think in my humble opinion, they planned this a little bit too late. I don't know how you feel because I only heard about it. What would have been
A week
a couple of days ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a week or so ago, or a couple of days ago now. So I don't really know. What I do know though for sure is it should be interesting. It should be a fun time, and I think that there could be a lot of parity involved, just given that now the UFC is going to be moving to Paramount and all that good stuff. So it should be interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm excited to see that press conference. I'm also excited to see today's press conference. I think it'll be a fun one. I always love seeing Merab. He always yaps.
Yeah,
But
do you think it's going to continue with the same format as the last couple, or it'll be the entire main card? Because that would be my suspicion.
I would hope so. Like UFC 323 has a pretty stacked main card. The only fight that maybe like I wouldn't be like, oh, that's a huge press conference one would be Bogdan Guskov versus Jan. But I mean, Cejudo Talbot, Moreno Tyra, Pantoja Van, and Marab all have to be up there.
Yeah, probably that would be my suspicion as well. But speaking of that, that's a very nice segue into the festivities. So I guess let's talk about them. So it's UFC 323, the final. numbered event of the ESPN Plus pay-per-view era, which a lot of people are really excited about. It seems like you're excited about that too for pretty good reason. So I guess, do you want to do what we always do, where we start from the bottom of the card and we work our way up to the top of it?
I like it. Let's do it.
Okay, do you want to do the honors of sharing the screen this morning, or do you want me to do it?
I could do the honors of sharing the screen this morning.
Okay, fair enough.
Let's rock and roll. I already got the Tapology pulled up. We go boom, bang. We hear you see it?
Not quite. Hopefully in a second here, man.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
There we go. I got it. There we go. I see it.
You see it.
Yep, absolutely.
Perfect. All right, to start off, kick off the prelims, we've got a pretty fun opening fight. We've got the 16-1 Myron Santos taking on the 13-3 Muhammad Naimov. With Myron Santos arguably 15-2 with that Francis Marshall fight, but he is a minus 250 on Tapology, minus 290 on FanDuel, and I believe he's minus 280 on Novig. And I think he's a big favorite right now. And Muhammad Naimov is a tough guy for an underdog. What do you think?
Yeah, Muhammad Naimov is a tough guy for sure. Something tells me though that Santos is going to get it done. I think he's really motivated to make a full career out of this, and I think Naimov is a good step up in competition because I think Santos brings a skill set that Naimov really, in my humble opinion, has never seen before. So that's kind of where I'm leaning, is that, I think he's motivated in Santos to stay active. He knows that 2025 is going to be a big year, and he knows that he needs to validate a lot of people's concerns because, as you just alluded to, the Francis Marshall fight, either which way you slice or dice, it was controversial. He needs to leave no doubt in this one, so I'm taking Santos by second round submission. What about you?
I agree. I'm taking Santos. I'm going to take him by decision. But like you said, I like that Myron Santos. I believe it, like his last fight, I'm just going to double check here, was against Sadiq Youssef, a very tough guy. And he made the statement where he won all 3 rounds. So I like Myron Santos as well. Next up, we've got Mansour Abdul Malik versus Antonio Tricoli. Mansour Abdul Malik is minus 1,200. But listen, Mansour Abdul Malik is an over 1.5 rounds kind of guy. Let me take a gander here on my FanDuel because that's other than Novig. My Novig, the odds aren't up on the Mansour fight right now, which hurts me. But
Yeah,
what
maybe
I will
because
say,
we have to remember, and then I guess that's a perfect segue into Novik in just a second. You have to remember, if something isn't on there, you gotta request it. So if need be, you can always request it, and if there's enough interest in it, they might end up putting that line up. You never know. So
I like that. And talking of Novig, what do you have to say for Novig?
sure. So without further ado, let's do the honors of that. All right. The MMA Outsiders is powered by Novig, America's #1 sports prediction market, available right now in 34 states. These include Texas, Florida, Georgia, and New York. And of course, we could show a plug in there to Illinois as well. On Novig, you're 10 times more likely to win long term compared to a traditional sports book because you're playing against real users and not the house. Sign up today and use the promo code in all caps ETB Network, that is ETBNETWORK, for exclusive bonuses. Novig, where fans play smarter, must be 21 or older to play. Please gamble responsibly, and if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. So,
Now, the only reason I was bringing up another gambling app is because I wanted to look at the
yeah,
round totals.
fair enough.
Was for the round totals because they don't have it. Now, the reason I was looking at that is Mansour Abdul Malik is always such a massive favorite. Those lines for round 1 are crazy, but he tends to win fights in round 2. And round 2 is around plus 400 on Mansour Abdul Malik. So if you believe in Tricoli's durability for at least 5 minutes, that's something I throw a little bit of money on. But Mansour Abdul Malik is my pick, is a massive favorite.
I guess that he's your pick because he's a massive favorite, and I agree with you. How do you think he wins, though? I'm curious.
Knockout round two, ground and pound, or up against the fence, maybe like 2 to 3 minutes into the round.
Okay, and I need to get your overall historical perspective. If Abdul Malik were to somehow lose, where would it rank in the biggest upsets in UFC history, or at least by one of them?
I mean, this year would be the biggest upset this year. It is the biggest upset odds wise. I hate to say it, my boy. It was Malcolm Lawmaker versus Ethan Ewing. Ethan Ewing was plus 535. Antonio Tricoli is plus 700, plus 800, depending on where you look at it.
Okay, all right. Let's move on up the card at light heavyweight. Um, Barneski versus Aslan. What do we think of that fight?
Listen, I think Ibo Aslan
Or
has
Aslan? My bad. My bad.
no, you're good. I just think he's I think he's shown his true colors his last couple fights, and he ain't elite. And I think Iwo Baranowski, he shocked a lot of people on Contender. He was a big underdog against Muhammad Ali. But guess what? I think Iwo's legit. Legendary Polish power. That's happening a couple times this card. Give me Iwo Baranowski by decision or knockout.
Oh, really? Okay, we're going opposite. I like um uh, uh Osman there, but I could see it going either way. And again, his momentum off of Contender Series, meaning Barnowski, of course, could end up playing a factor. I'm not so sure, but I think that fight has a chance to be one of the most underrated fights on the entire card, despite it only being a prelim. Could you see it potentially with performance of the night potential?
I I can see it being a fight of the night potential, or I could see it being real stinky. Ivo Aslan likes to stink these fights up.
Okay. Next fight, battle of youth versus experience, if you will. Edson Barboza versus Jalen Turner. I hate to say this, Jack. I think if Edson Barboza loses, he needs to think about hanging it up. What do you think?
I agree with you, and I think he's got to hang it up because Jalen Turner is coming back after a long layoff. His last fight was UFC 303. He retired. He needed some time to find himself, and he's coming back. He's rejuvenated. He's dangerous, and he's got the talent to be a champion. And he's the best 14-9 fighter in the world. Give me Tarantula by knockout.
Yeah, I'm taking Jalen Turner also. I think we're gonna agree on most of these fights. At least we're agreeing so far. Let's see what the rest of the card brings. All right, moving up the card as per usual here. We have Marvin Vittori taking on Bruno Ferreira. I think this is one of those situations where Vittori's back is against the wall for sure, and Ferreira has nothing to lose. What do you think?
I agree. And listen, every American pay-per-view this year, I think, has had. I lied. Take that away. But this has been the year of the spinning elbows, right?
Not every pay per view, but I would say most of them. You can make the
Yeah.
argument. There's
We've
been
got or big fights. We had the Diego Lopez, Lauren Murphy, Carlos Prates. We've had some good ones.
right.
Sergio Pettis in PFL. Listen, Bruno Ferreira is cracking Marvin's chin for the first time, getting that last spinning elbow of the year. Performance of the night.
Okay, I'm taking Ferrer as well. I don't know if I'd go as far to say that he'll win by spinning elbow, but damn, he'll win by something impressive. That's for sure. And I think it's going to be one of those fights where Barboza is going to be in a slugfest and he gets caught. Or not
Yeah,
Barboza, I meant Vittori, but nonetheless, I think it's going to be one of those fights where it's going to be an all-out kickboxing battle and someone gets caught, and I think Vittori is going to be the guy to get caught. What sucks is Vittori could be on a run right now, but his last couple fights have really done him in, especially that Brendan Allen fight did not help his stock whatsoever. So
hey, the Brendan Allen fight, the stock's only going up with his last win.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
But I think, and the biggest thing is it feels weird because Bruno is the older fighter, but it feels like Marvin's been around so much longer.
He has. Well, I think in UFC years, isn't that kind of true that he's been
No,
around a long time?
That is true. He's put in a lot more UFC years, but it's just like it's odd seeing that Bruno is a year older than him.
Right, exactly.
But all right, we're both going Bruno Ferreira. Next up, one of my I think hardest fights to pick, but one of my most exciting fights. Nazim Sadikov versus Faraz Ziam. Faraz Ziam is minus 140. He's a slight favorite. I really want Nazim Sadikov to get the W here. I want him to win. I like Nazim Sadikov. I think Faraz Ziam is going to get the job done by decision.
Okay, and what makes you say that?
I think Nazim is a better striker, and he's going to be able to slip and throw some hooks and whatnot. But I think Faraz is going to clinch him a lot. I think he's going to push him against the fence. I think he's going to go for takedowns. But if it's able to stay on the feet, I like Nazim. If it's in the clinch or on the ground, I think Faraz is going to get the job done.
See, I think Sadikov. It's going to be similar to his last fight, where he's just going to be swinging, and if he falls, he falls, and if he wins by knockout, he wins by knockout. I think it's going to be a take no prisoners kind of fight, to where I could see it going the distance, or I could see it being finished via KO TKO. But I don't think you're going to be seeing a lot of wrestling in this fight. So I think you're gonna see a striker's delight. If you like stand up, if you like stand up type undercard action, I think this is one, in my opinion, that you don't want to miss. So
No, this one's going to be an awesome fight. But you think Sadikov? I'm taking Ziam. Next up, the return of Macy Barber versus Karine Silva. My biggest question on this fight is Macy Barber going to even fight? We'll find out tomorrow. But if she does, I'm taking Macy Barber by decision.
yeah, I'm taking Barber as well. Fun fact: I met Macy Barber when she was, I think, well, because we're the same age. I think we met each other when we were both like 20 years old or something. She had just gotten into the UFC, so that's my fun fact about Macy Barber. And my fun fact about Karine Silva is she follows me on Instagram.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, it's a weird dynamic. I have slight connections to both of them, very very semi briefly, but nonetheless, though, I agree. If Macy Barber fights, she should get the job done, and she has more to lose in this fight for sure if she wants to remain in any sort of title contention at all. Because I'm almost certain, and I don't know the facts of the situation, but if I were to guess, I'm sure it was very, very, very challenging, especially given what occurred in May, for the UFC to even give her a remote chance, let alone a chance on a numbered UFC event kind of high up on the undercard. I think this is a huge risk that the UFC is willing to take, and it'll be interesting to see if it backfires or if it doesn't, because I'm sure you and a lot of the MMA community feel the same way, that I think there are still tons of question marks after the Blanchfield fight was postponed and eventually canceled, because it looks like that fight will never be remade again. So
I agree full stop. Like the reason I'm like picking Macy Barber, like if it literally take away every outside thing, Macy Barber would be my lock of the night. Because my thing is like, look at who she's been booked against: Rose Namajunas.
well, yeah, the level. Yeah, I'm saying the level of competition um, that she was supposed to fight is not comparable to Silva. And this is no disrespect to Silva. It just is.
And Silva went life and death with Diane Barboza, who's a good fighter, but she's 2-2 in the UFC. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So I think if Macy Barber makes weight and look good, maybe not even looks good, but makes it to the walkout, I'm taking Macy.
Okay, so we both agree on Barber there. You want to take a look at the next fight?
Next up, T-Rex Terrence McKinney versus Chris Duncan. This is an awesome fight. I can't wait for this.
Yeah, I think this is my pick for fight of the night.
Me too. And who are you taking?
I mean, man, I like both guys. I could see this being a absolute war for 15 minutes, but I think McKinney has been waiting to get back in there for quite some time, and I think he knows what Duncan brings, and he knows he has a chance to maybe have another viral moment, very similarly to his UFC debut way back when. And I think the numbered events have been kind to him. Let's just say that, and I think that past knowledge is going to translate into momentum, and I think he stops Duncan in round 3. What do you think?
I think that's wishful thinking of round 3, but I agree with you. I think it's going to be a Terrence McKinney round 1 knockout. If this thing gets out of round 1, though, Chris Duncan's going to drown him.
Okay, fair enough. You just think that Duncan's wrestling is going to be too much?
I think his striking's going to be too much. I think his wrestling will be too much. He's slow, and he's a slow starter. And Terrence McKinney is a lightning bolt. So I think if you're going to beat Chris Duncan, you're going to beat him right away. And I think Terrence McKinney is that kind of guy, and that's why I'm picking him. But Terrence McKinney is the type of fighter after round 1. He's cooked. And Chris Duncan's the kind of guy that after round 1, that's when he starts doing his best. And he's got a disgusting guillotine, big power. I think he would get the finish in round 2 or 3 if he can. If he stays alive.
Okay, fair enough. What about the next fighter, Dawson versus Manel Torres? Who do you got?
See, this one's so conflicting for me because I love Grant Dawson. I really, really like Grant Dawson. I don't think you're going to hear too many people saying that. But Manuel Torres is a dangerous, dangerous guy. And I don't know if Grant Dawson can survive the power, but I'm going to pick Grant Dawson to get the W.
Okay, I like Dawson too, just on the slight fact that I think he has a little bit more experience, and I just think Torres, even though his record is solid, he still needs to get tested, and I think Dawson is a good test. So I'm gonna go Dawson by decision.
And not even needs to be tested. Like, he has been tested and he's been beaten, but it's by a striker. So I'm
No, no,
excited.
no, no, no. He has, but would you agree though, at least going into this, that Dawson is probably the best guy he's fought, at least so far?
Oh, for sure. And I think it's
That's what
the best wrestler.
that's what that's what I meant from a general sense.
Gotcha. But yeah, we're both going Grant Dawson. Now to open the pay-per-view. Legendary bonus power. Jan Blachowicz taking on Bogdan Guskov. Papa Jan's getting the job done, and he's winning by submission. Lock it in, plus 400.
Okay, I like the former champion as well. I don't know if I'd go as far as to say a submission. I'm going to go a little bit more conservative and say he wins by decision, but I think a former champ is a former champ, and until you beat him, you can't pick against him. And I think if he wins, as crazy as it sounds, Jack, in my humble opinion, he's still very much in the mix. What do you think?
Oh, for sure. He was this close, arguably beat Pereira, arguably beat Ankalaev, arguably beat Ulberg. Like he's not losing. He's losing by that much.
Yeah, and he's losing to studs, either current and or former UFC champions. So he's not
Yeah.
he's not losing to guys who suck is what we mean here. So
And I think Bogdan Guskov's good, but if Volkan Oezdemir is submitting you, I think Jan Blachowicz could submit you.
fair enough.
Next up, R.I.P. Triple C, the king of cringe, if it wants to pull up, versus Peyton Talbot. What do you think about this fight, Mr. Zan?
I mean, the big question is, can Cejudo have another signature performance for the first time in a long time and erase the really bad taste of the Song Yudong fight? Sitting here, right now, Jack, I honestly have to say, I don't know. I don't know how motivated Cejudo is. I don't know how his camp is going. Like, I could not tell you whether he is ready to go or not. I have and if you look at it on the other side, if Peyton Talbot wins this fight, everybody knows this, he becomes a household name instantly. So I mean, you want to talk about an opportunity to do something life changing for your career. This is it for Talbot, man. I mean, I don't know how else to say this other than the fact that he needs to seize the moment. He's getting Cejudo on the back half of his career. It's his final fight. He's not the same guy he was in 2018, 19, and 20. I, barring some miracle, I think Talbot easily beats the former champion. What do you think?
I think it's going to be Talbot all day by striking, all striking. Because I think the biggest thing is everybody's like, oh, Henry's a big wrestler. Henry's a big wrestler. Since he came back, even since the Marlon Moraes fight, if you take away the Aljo fight, which like it said he has 3 takedowns in that fight, show me those 3 takedowns.
They were half takedowns. We all know that.
Yeah, show me it's a takedown. Other than those fights, he's averaging 1 takedown every 5 rounds.
Yeah, that's not good, dude. That's not
So
good at all.
if you're telling me he's gonna get 1 takedown in this fight, so if he gets the takedown and keeps him down, which like historically he can't do anymore, let's give him 1 round. He's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
beating
yeah. He might win one round, but that's if it goes the distance, that's probably it. So
Yeah, I'm taking Peyton Talbot, and I'm willing to lay that chalk.
okay, fair enough.
Next up, big flyweight matchup. Is the former champion done, or is the new up and comer just that good? We've got Brandon Moreno versus Tatsuro Taira. What are you thinking?
Well, as someone who watched Royval versus Tyra Royval versus Tyra in person, actually, let me just double check and make sure I have my event correct. Hang on 1 second here.
No, you're good. I can't
Yeah,
wait.
yeah, yeah. It is right. I was there in person for Royval versus Tyra. Given that is the case, Tyra can hang with the best in the world, but to me, when Brandon Moreno, his whole career, when his back's against the wall, he always performs his best. I think Moreno by decision could very easily happen.
I agree. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. And we're back. But here's my thought, right? I
Yep.
agree with you. I think Brandon Moreno fights his best with his back's against the wall. But look at his losses, split decisions versus Pantoja, right?
Right.
If you're looking at that Tyra Brandon Royval fight, as badly as everybody says, like, oh, Tyra got beat up, Tyra got beat up.
But wait a minute. As someone who was there in person, Tyra got beat up, but at the same time, he fought his ass off in rounds 4 and 5. It was a really, really, really good fight. It was a high level fight.
And it was 3-2 decision.
Yeah.
So if you're telling me it was 3-2, this is a 3-round fight. I think Tyra can out grapple Moreno for 2 rounds and get the decision win here. I'm taking Tatsuro Taira.
Okay, so we disagree. I like the former champion, but I could completely understand your reasoning, especially just given that Tyra needs to build more on his resume, and this is to me the perfect fight to do it. And I'm sure you would agree.
I agree full stop. Now, next up, Joshua Van, baby. I love Joshua Van. I love Alexandre Pantoja, but Joshua Van is my GOAT. I love him. He's so fun. But Alexandre Pantoja, Josh Van, Pantoja's minus 235. Who you taking?
I get it. Everybody's on the Josh Van hype train. He's all excited to fight Pantoja. He's been on a run of epic proportions, but I don't know, man. Something about Brazilian champions the last couple years have just hit me some type of way in the sense that they always seem to find a way to win when people least expect it. And if Pantoja can make this an ugly fight with his wrestling, and if he can avoid Van's early storm, which you and I both know he's going to be a bat out of hell. Again that fight starts. That's going to be a wild first round. You know that. If he can survive that, I think Pantoja is winning 4-1 by decision, with him only losing potentially the first round. And I think it's going to be one of those where Van's going to learn from it. He's going to go, God damn it. And in about a year and a half or so, going into 2027, late 2026, early 2027, maybe mid 2027, we will be talking about a rematch between these two. And I'm going to make a prediction right now. that hypothetical rematch that I just presented to you is going to be much bigger from a promotional standpoint than this fight will be. I don't know what storylines will transpire to make it that way, to make the rematch as big as this one, but I think if these two fight again somehow, some way, it's going to be built bigger than the first one. But nonetheless, they'll give me Pantoja to retain his UFC flyweight title and close out 2025 on a high note. What do you think?
I think the reason they're going to call for a rematch is I think round one, they're both going to stand on the feet and they're just going to go at it. I think the first
Okay.
minute's going to feel out, maybe first 30 seconds. I think Josh Van's going to go for it. I think Pantoja's going to go for it early like he always does. And I think Josh Van's going to be like, fuck it. Everybody runs away. I've got to stand my base and beat the shit out of this guy. And I think the first round is going to be that, just beating the shit out of each other. But round two, I think Pantoja's going to be like, all right, enough of that. Take him down, submit him round two, and Josh Van, like you said, is going to be like, come back. He's going to work his grappling, and that second fight is going to be a lot bigger.
Yeah, that second fight's going to be a lot bigger. And I will go as far to say that this hypothetical second fight, I'm just going to go out and say this. I think this is going to be the birth, my friend, of a trilogy that will end in 2028.
Hey, could be the next Moreno Figueiredo.
Yeah, which I think the flyweight division has needed a version of that for a while. It's been kind of stagnant as of late, but I do agree this could be the start of something special. So just to clarify, we are both taking the champion to retain his title. Is that correct?
That is correct. And now the main event, Merab Dvalishvili versus Peter Yan. I'm not going to go into it too deep. Merab the Machine is going to get the job. Don't send organics to do the machine's work. He's going to get the job done.
So you think he's going to make UFC history and become the first fighter to defend his belt 4 times in a calendar year? You think it's happening, huh?
Not only do I think it's happening, I think he's going to finish Peter Yan by submission.
Really? So you think it's going to be worse than the first fight? Is what
I
you're
think
saying?
everybody's saying, oh, Peter Yan didn't have a right hand. Peter Yan didn't have a right hand. Guess what, guys? Merab didn't have a right hand either in that first fight. They were both fighting as just lefties. And Merab, listen, Merab's moving like King Von right now. He is unstoppable, and I don't think that's stopping this week.
Really? Okay. Very interesting. But yeah, that'll do it for the card itself. Let me go over a few more particulars as we go into the final UFC pay-per-view event of the year, and with 2 cards to go going into this event. Jack, you sit at 297, 188 and 4. For me, I sit at 275, 215 and 4. You ended the month slightly better than me in November. You went 33 and 30, or excuse me, 33 and 20 across us 53 fights. I went 24 and 29. How do you feel about these totals, and how do you think? Well, because we know it's a foregone conclusion at this point. How many fights do you think you will finish ahead of me in the standings by next week after the last fight night of the year?
How many did you say I was ahead right now?
So right now you are ahead. So you are ahead 297 to 275 right now.
297 to 275. I'd like to be ahead at least 25 by the end of the year. To keep a 25-point lead.
Fair enough, fair enough. And yeah, just to clarify as well, because I haven't done this in so long. Um if I win, if the main event goes the way I think it's going to go, I will end my UFC pay-per-view main event record at 7-5-1. Given how difficult of a year this was to pick UFC main events, should I be satisfied with that or disappointed?
I think the main events are the hardest thing to pick, so I think going 500 on that is pretty good. Like, I don't even know what I went on main events. I think
And
I
then
went something.
overall, that was just for pay-per-view main events. If you want to know how I did overall on main events so far, I'm 19, 20, and 1. So I have a chance to finish above 500 if the next 2 main events go my correct way. So
As of right now, I'm running back real quick. I'm 1-1-1, 1-2-1. Oh man, I'm not picking 2-2-1. I didn't do good this year.
really,
I don't think so. 4-2-1. We're cooking now.
Okay.
4-3.
Okay. Is
Five,
this overall or
five,
just pay-per-views?
just pay-per-view.
Okay, okay.
5-4. I have no idea. I think I went something like 6-4-1, but I
Okay.
know I'm missing one or two.
Okay. Hey, well, technically, there's been 12 UFC pay-per-view main events because they did two. They doubled up 1 month on on one of the on one of the cards. I'm pretty sure regarding two events, two pay-per-views in the same month. But nonetheless, though, yeah, I have a chance to finish above 500, which I would not be too disappointed with in the overall category. And I have a chance to finish a few fights above 500 in the main event category. So again, I can't fully complain. Before we get out of here, any final thoughts on UFC 323, and also I as any thoughts on just what we're going to be bringing our playback viewers next week? Where by then we promise, because we know you guys have been waiting, we should have a definitive date for the award show as well. Hopefully by then. But any final thoughts before we get out of here and we, I guess, go on and enjoy the festivities that are going to be this weekend?
I can't wait. This is gonna be a good card. We got some good stuff, and who knows? Maybe me and Zan will link up for the last card of the ESPN era, the fight night.
Yeah, it should be an interesting one. More on that to come, but for now, I'm Zan Bando. He's Jack Gold. Thank you to the playback community for tuning in. As always, just a quick programming note regarding the playback schedule. Saturday is Between the Ropes with Christy Wilson. Still figuring out when Zan Singer Part 2 is going to drop. I'll figure that out sometime later today, is the hope. And then, of course, for those of you who are sickos of our community, Sunday, Gridiron Gurus, 11 a.m. Or 11 a.m. Or excuse me, yeah, 11 to noon, and then it rolls right in to NFL Red Zone at 1 p.m. Eastern. A bunch of us are going to join. I'm pretty sure as well. So that'll do it for another stream. This has been a new edition of the MMA Outsiders. Thanks again for tuning in. We were on Playback, Kick, Twitch, and YouTube today. So subscribe, like, be sure to share it. Follow both of us on social media and enjoy the fights this Saturday. Taylor Fade, and we will catch you guys next week. Have a good one. Cheers.